Hello, hello, 30 Days of Faithers. Super excited to be with you again. I am actually getting back from church service, and as you guys may know, our service is later, so I am exhausted. But I wanted to go ahead and do a really quick 5 minutes of faith video and encourage you guys as you start your week on this Sunday. One thing that's just been resonating in my heart lately is that faith and comfort are not synonyms. Faith and comfort are not synonyms. Sometimes we think, oh man, if I could just step out in faith and do something, and then I would have everything I want and I'll be super comfortable. Yeah, no, that's not how it works. All throughout the Bible, it shows us people that have stepped out on faith, and we admire those individuals. But one thing that we also want to be clear about is that those individuals sacrificed. They sacrificed a ton to step out and to believe and trust God. Take Abraham, for example. God told him to leave his country, leave everything that he knew, and go to a land that he would promise him. He stepped out on God's promise before God's promise was even there. He stepped out on God's promise before he even knew that he was going to have a son. He stepped out on God's promise. Think about Noah. I mean, here he is believing God to build this ark when there was never rain. Like people were looking at him like he was crazy, but he kept going. He kept stepping out. He kept doing what God told him to do. And then look at Jesus Christ. I mean, think about it. Like, I come down on earth because my father says that if I die on a tree, then I will be raised from the dead. And all these people that aren't even really my friends right now, they'll be saved through me. That takes a lot of faith to be able to do that. Like, to be able to do that. And sometimes we neglect to realize that Jesus, although he was God in the flesh, he was in the flesh. And there's an element of wrestling that happens when you're in the flesh. So I just want to encourage you guys that if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, my faith and the things that God is telling me to do are very uncomfortable, then you are in great company. I mean, you've got Abraham, you've got Jesus, you've got Noah, you've got Moses. All these people were told to do something that was extremely uncomfortable to their flesh. It didn't seem like it was make sense, but God wants to use that. It's so awesome because our flesh wants to be able to count, like say, okay, I can do this because I have this much strength, I have this much might. But God wants us to be able to look at something and go, whoa, there's no way I can do that. And then God says, exactly, you need me to do it. And so that's where faith comes in. Faith comes in when you realize that you need me, is what God is saying. And then you therefore anyway, because you're expecting me to be right there with you, because you understand that this is a God vision, this is a God dream, this is a God thing. So I want to encourage you right now, if you are watching this, it's because God has a plan for your life. He has a plan for your life. So I encourage you right now to just trust him. Everything that he's saying, trust him. Trust him. Nope. Are you listening? Trust God. He has an amazing plan for your life. He knew you before you knew you. He knew you before your mom knew you, before your dad knew you. He knew you. Before you were even in your mother's womb, he knew you. So I encourage you right now to choose faith, to say no to fear, because you serve an amazing God who knows you. Have a great evening. Love you guys so much. Keep walking on that water. Bye.